For many of us over 60, oatmeal is more than just breakfast. It's a ritual, a comforting start to the day that promises health, warmth, and a gentle nod to simpler times. You've likely chosen oatmeal because it's kind to your stomach, rich in fiber and backed by science for its ability to lower cholesterol and stabilize blood sugar. It's a choice born from wisdom, a commitment to care for the body that's carried you through decades of life's joys and challenges. But here's a truth that might sting. The toppings or mix-ins you lovingly stir into that bowl, often marketed as healthy or natural, can quietly turn your wholesome oatmeal into a metabolic minefield. As we age, our bodies become less forgiving. Blood sugar spikes hit harder, digestion slows, and organs like the liver and kidneys work overtime to process what they once handled with ease. The wrong ingredients, even in small amounts, can chip away at your vitality, raising risks for heart disease, diabetes, and organ strain without a single warning sign until it's too late. This isn't about stripping away the joy of your morning routine. It's about empowering you to make choices that honor the incredible body you've lived in for so long. In this deep dive, we'll explore 7 common oatmeal add-ins that older adults often use, unpack the science behind why they can harm you, and offer heartfelt, practical alternatives to keep your breakfast nourishing. Each section will peel back the layers of why these ingredients matter, with stories and research to ground the advice in real life. By the end, you'll not only know what to avoid, but feel inspired to craft a bowl of oatmeal that loves you back, protecting your heart, boosting your energy, and supporting the vibrant life you deserve. Let's dive in, because your mornings should fuel your days, not quietly work against them. Number 1, brown sugar. The sweet saboteur that breaks your heart. There's something undeniably comforting about stirring a spoonful of brown sugar into your oatmeal. It melts into the warm oats, evoking memories of childhood treats or cozy winter mornings. But as you've crossed the threshold of 60, your body processes that sweetness differently, and the consequences are far from sweet. Brown sugar, despite its natural appearance, is metabolically identical to white sugar. A single tablespoon can send your blood sugar soaring, triggering a cascade of effects that leave you tired, foggy, and craving more sugar by mid-morning. For older adults whose insulin sensitivity naturally declines with age, these spikes are more than an inconvenience. They're a silent threat to long-term health. The science behind a harm. A 2015 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that frequent blood sugar spikes from added sugars accelerate insulin resistance, a precursor to type 2 diabetes. As we age, the pancreas produces less insulin, and cells become less responsive to it. This means even a small dose of sugar, like the 12 grams in a tablespoon of brown sugar, can push your system into overdrive. Over time, these repeated spikes promote visceral fat, the dangerous kind around your organs, increase inflammation, and damage blood vessels, raising your risk of heart disease. A 2019 circulation study linked high sugar intake to a 30% increased risk of cardiovascular events in adults over 60, even those who considered themselves healthy eaters. A story that hits home. Meet Janet, a 67-year-old retiree who prided herself on her healthy oatmeal breakfast, topped with just a pinch of brown sugar. She couldn't understand why, despite her active lifestyle, she felt sluggish by 10 a.m., struggling to focus on her gardening or keep up with her grandkids. Her doctor reviewed her diet and zeroed in on that small scoop of sugar. "It's just a little sweetness," Janet protested, but blood tests showed her fasting glucose creeping toward prediabetes. She swapped the brown sugar for sliced bananas and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Within days, her energy leveled out, and she felt sharper and more present. "I didn't realize one spoonful was stealing my mornings," she shared, her voice tinged with relief. Why it's emotional? After decades of caring for others, your family, your career, your community, you deserve mornings that energize you, not drain you. Brown sugar's quick hit of sweetness might feel like a reward, but it's a false friend, sparking a dopamine rush that leaves you craving more while quietly taxing your body. It's not about willpower, it's about biology. Your brain and body are wired to seek that pleasure, but as you age, the cost of those fleeting moments grows steeper. What to do instead? You don't have to give up sweetness, just choose sources that work with your body. A few slices of banana or berries add natural sugars balanced with fiber, slowing absorption and preventing spikes. A 2021 Journal of Nutrition study found that whole fruits improve insulin sensitivity in older adults compared to added sugars. A pinch of cinnamon or a drop of vanilla extract can elevate flavor without any sugar at all, giving you that cozy warmth without the crush. Your heart, your energy, your clarity. They're worth protecting with every bite. Number 2, artificial sweeteners, a false promise that confuses your body. For many seniors, artificial sweeteners like sucralose, aspartame, or saccharin feel like a guilt-free way to enjoy sweetness, especially if you're watching your blood sugar or weight. Those little pink or yellow packets seem like a small miracle, 0 calories, diabetes-friendly, and just as sweet. But beneath their convenience lies a troubling reality. These lab-made chemicals can disrupt your metabolism, stress your organs, and even increase cravings, leaving you worse off than if you'd used a touch of real sugar. The science behind the harm. Your body expects sweetness to come with calories and energy. When it gets sweetness without them, as with artificial sweeteners, it gets confused. A 2017 study in Cell Metabolism showed that artificial sweeteners alter gut microbiota, the trillions of bacteria that regulate metabolism, leading to glucose intolerance and weight gain over time. This is especially concerning for older adults whose hormonal balance is already shifting. Another 2020 study in hepatology found that regular consumption of artificial sweeteners like sucralose increases liver enzyme levels, signaling stress and potential damage. Your liver, already processing medications or age-related toxins, doesn't need the extra burden of filtering synthetic compounds. A story that hits home. Charles, a 74-year-old widower, started using sugar-free syrup and artificial sweeteners in his oatmeal after a diabetes scare. He thought he was making the smart choice, but his energy dipped and routine blood work showed elevated liver enzymes. "I was trying to protect my health," he said, frustration in his voice. His doctor suggested cutting out artificial additives, and within weeks, Charles noticed better digestion and more stable energy. His follow-up labs improved, and he felt a weight lift, not just physically, but emotionally. "I thought I was doing the right thing," he admitted, "but I was hurting myself without knowing." Why it's emotional? You've spent years making sacrifices for your health, maybe cutting back on desserts, exercising despite aches, or managing medications. Artificial sweeteners feel like a small win, a way to enjoy life's sweetness without guilt. But they're a betrayal, promising health while quietly taxing the organs that keep you strong. You deserve better than a chemical trick that leaves you craving more and feeling less vibrant. What to do instead? Skip the packets and embrace natural flavors. A sprinkle of cinnamon or nutmeg mimics sweetness without calories, while a splash of unsweetened almond milk or a few crushed raspberries adds richness and nutrients. A 2018 nutrient study found that whole food flavorings like spices improve gut health and reduce inflammation, unlike artificial sweeteners. Your body, which has carried you through so much, deserves real nourishment, not a lab-made illusion. Number 3, dried fruits, a concentrated sugar bomb in disguise. Dried fruits like raisins, cranberries, or apricots seem like nature's candy, wholesome, fiber-rich, and straight from the earth. But when you sprinkle them into your oatmeal, you're adding a sugar load that rivals a candy bar. As fruit dries, its water content vanishes, concentrating natural sugars into a potent hit of fructose that your liver must process alone. For older adults, this can be a silent strain on an organ already working harder with age. The science behind the harm. Unlike glucose, which your muscles and brain can use, fructose goes straight to the liver, where it's converted into fat if consumed in excess. A 2019 study in the Journal of Clinical Investigation linked high fructose intake to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NFLD, which affects up to 30% of adults over 60, even non-drinkers. Many dried fruits, like cranberries, are coated in added sugars or syrups, with a quarter cup packing 20 to 25 grams of sugar, equivalent to a soda. Even unsweetened varieties, like raisins or dates, deliver a heavy sugar dose in a small package, spiking blood sugar and insulin. A story that hits home. Gerald, a 69-year-old grandfather, loved his morning oatmeal topped with dried apricots, believing they boosted his fiber intake. But he battled bloating and creeping blood pressure, despite his active lifestyle. "I thought I was doing everything right," he said, his voice heavy with disappointment. His doctor suggested swapping dried fruit for fresh blueberries. Within weeks, Gerald's bloating eased and his blood pressure stabilized. "Those little pieces were my favorite part," he admitted, "but they were holding me back." Why it's emotional? Dried fruits feel like a wholesome choice, a nod to the natural foods your parents or grandparents might have loved. Letting go of them feels like losing a piece of that comfort. But your liver, which has worked tirelessly to keep you healthy, deserves a break. You've earned the right to feel light, energized, and free from bloating, not weighed down by a hidden sugar trap. What to do instead? Fresh fruits like berries, apple slices, or half a banana offer sweetness with water, fiber, and antioxidants that ease digestion and slow sugar absorption. A 2020 Journal of Gerontology study found that fresh fruit consumption improves liver function and reduces NAFLD risk in older adults. Your oatmeal can still be delicious. Just choose ingredients that lift you up, not drag you down. Number 4. Flavored oatmeal packets. Convenience that costs you. Flavored oatmeal packets are a lifeline for busy mornings or solo seniors. Tear, pour, stir, and you're done. Their labels boast heart-healthy grains and natural flavors, promising health in every bite. But hidden beneath that convenience is a mix of sodium, artificial flavorings, and additives that can quietly harm your heart, kidneys, and energy, especially after 60. The science behind the harm. A single packet can pack 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium, which adds up fast when combined with other daily sources. A 2021 hypertension study linked excess sodium to increased blood pressure and kidney strain in older adults, whose kidneys are less efficient at filtering sodium. Artificial flavorings, stabilizers, and colorants also burden the liver, which must detoxify these compounds. A 2022 toxicology report study noted that synthetic additives in processed foods contribute to chronic inflammation, a driver of heart disease and cognitive decline in seniors. A story that hits home. Carol, a 73-year-old widow, relied on flavored oatmeal packets for their ease, especially after losing her husband. "They felt like a hug in a bowl," she said softly. But she noticed swelling in her hands and a puffiness that made her feel sluggish. Her doctor traced it to the sodium and additives in the packets. Switching to plain oats with fresh apple slices and a pinch of cinnamon changed everything. Her swelling eased, and her morning blood pressure readings improved. "I didn't realize a little packet could do so much harm," she said, her eyes brighter with hope. Why it's emotional? For many, those packets are a small comfort in a busy or a lonely morning, a quick way to feel cared for. Learning they're hurting you feels like losing a trusted friend. But you deserve a breakfast that truly nurtures you, not one that hides harm behind clever marketing. Your heart and kidneys have carried you this far. Let's give them the respect they've earned. What to do instead? Plain rolled or steel-cut oats take just minutes to prepare and let you control the flavor. Add fresh fruit, a sprinkle of nuts, or a dash of spices like cardamom or nutmeg. A 2019 nutrient study found that whole, unprocessed oats improve cardiovascular health without the sodium or additives of flavored packets. Your mornings can still be simple and comforting. Just make them kind to your body, too. Number 5. Non-dairy creamers, a creamy culprit that clogs your arteries. Non-dairy creamers, whether powdered or liquid, promise a rich, creamy texture without dairy, perfect for lactose-intolerant seniors or those cutting back on milk. But their ingredient lists read like a chemistry lab: hydrogenated oils, artificial flavors, and emulsifiers that can harm your heart and metabolism over time. For a body that's already navigating the challenges of aging, these additives are an unnecessary burden. The science behind the harm. Many non-dairy creamers contain partially hydrogenated oils, a source of trans fats that raise LDL, bad cholesterol, and lower HDL, good cholesterol. A 2018 American Heart Journal study linked even small amounts of trans fats to a 20% increased risk of heart disease in older adults. Even trans fat-free creamers can contain trace amounts if the serving size is small enough and daily use adds up. Emulsifiers and artificial flavors also stress the liver and kidneys, contributing to chronic inflammation, per a 2021 Nature study. A story that hits home. Frank, a 75-year-old retiree, stirred powdered creamer into his oatmeal and coffee daily, thinking it was a harmless way to save money. But his cholesterol climbed, and digestive issues left him uncomfortable. "I thought it was just powder," he said, shaking his head. His doctor urged him to stop, and after switching to unsweetened almond milk, Frank's labs improved and his stomach settled. "I feel like myself again," he said, a smile breaking through. Why it's emotional? You've worked hard to make practical choices, maybe to save money, simplify your kitchen, or manage dietary restrictions. Non-dairy creamers feel like a smart solution, but they're quietly working against the heart that's beaten strong for decades. You deserve a breakfast that feels indulgent without compromising your health. What to do instead? For creaminess, try unsweetened oat milk, a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt, or a splash of organic dairy cream if you tolerate it. These options offer nutrients like calcium or probiotics without synthetic additives. A 2020 Journal of Dairy Science study found that natural dairy or plant-based milks improve heart health markers in seniors. Treat your body to real, clean ingredients. It's earned it. Number 6. Store-bought granola, a crunchy trap loaded with sugar and fat. Granola's wholesome image, crisp, nutty, and natural, makes it a favorite oatmeal topper. But most store-bought versions are packed with sugars, refined oils, and preservatives that turn your healthy breakfast into a caloric and inflammatory disaster. For seniors whose bodies are more prone to inflammation and insulin resistance, granola's hidden dangers can outweigh its satisfying crunch. The science behind the harm. Manufacturers often bake granola in sugar syrups or oils like canola or palm, which promote inflammation. A 2020 Nature Reviews cardiology study linked refined oils to increased heart disease risk in older adults. Even low-sugar, granolas use sweeteners like honey or brown rice syrup, which spike blood sugar similarly to sugar. A quarter cup of granola can pack 15 to 20 grams of sugar and 200 calories, often far more than you'd guess from a small handful. Overpouring is common, amplifying the damage. A story that hits home. Ellen, a 71-year-old yoga enthusiast, sprinkled granola on her oatmeal for crunch, believing it was a health food. But her blood sugar readings were erratic, and afternoon slumps left her frustrated. "I thought I was eating clean," she said, her voice tinged with betrayal. When she learned her granola had more sugar than a cookie, she switched to chopped walnuts. Her energy stabilized, and her doctor was thrilled with her improved glucose levels. "I feel like I reclaimed my mornings," she beamed. Why it's emotional? Granola feels like a wholesome indulgence, a way to add joy to a simple meal. Learning it's a sugar-laden trap can feel like a personal loss, especially when you're trying to stay active and vibrant. But your body, which has carried you through countless days, deserves toppings that fuel your strength, not sap it. What to do instead? For crunch, try raw almonds, pumpkin seeds, or unsweetened coconut flakes. These provide healthy fats, fiber, and nutrients without the inflammatory oils or sugar spikes. A 2019 American Journal of Clinical Nutrition study found that nuts and seeds improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation in seniors. Your oatmeal can still have texture and flavor. Just make it a gift to your body, not a burden. Number 7. Protein powders, a processed burden your body doesn't need. Protein powders are marketed as a senior's secret weapon for muscle maintenance and energy, especially for those worried about age-related muscle loss. But stirring a scoop into your oatmeal often introduces artificial sweeteners, thickeners, and synthetic flavors that stress your liver and kidneys, organs already working harder as you age. Whole food proteins are a far better choice for your breakfast bowl. The science behind the harm. Many protein powders contain additives like sucralose or emulsifiers, which burden the liver and kidneys. A 2022 Kidney International study found that excessive processed protein strains kidneys, especially in seniors with reduced function, common even without diagnosed kidney disease. Excess protein not used for muscle repair is broken down by the liver, adding stress that can lead to fatigue or fluid retention. A 2021 Journal of Nutrition study noted that whole food proteins are more efficiently utilized by older adults with less organ strain. A story that hits home. Dennis, a 78-year-old who loved his morning walks, added protein powder to his oatmeal after reading it would preserve his strength. But his kidney labs worsened and he felt unusually tired. "I thought I was helping my muscles," he said, his voice heavy with regret. His doctor traced the issue to the powder's additives and excess protein. Switching to a side of eggs or nuts improved his labs and energy. "I feel lighter, like my body's thanking me," he shared. Why it's emotional? You're doing everything you can to stay strong, walking, stretching, eating right. Protein powder feels like a proactive step, a way to hold onto the vitality of your youth. Learning it's harming you can feel like a setback, but it's really an opportunity to choose foods that truly support your strength and longevity. What to do instead? Opt for natural protein sources like a spoonful of Greek yogurt, a handful of nuts, or a boiled egg on the side. These deliver protein with nutrients your body can use without the synthetic load. A 2020 Journal of Gerontology study found that whole food proteins improve muscle health in seniors without taxing organs. Your body is still strong, it just needs clean fuel to keep shining. Final thoughts: crafting a bowl that loves you back. Your morning oatmeal is more than a meal, it's a moment of self-care, a quiet ritual that sets the tone for your day. But the wrong mix-ins, brown sugar, artificial sweeteners, dried fruits, flavored packets, non-dairy creamers, granola, and protein powders can turn that nurturing act into a silent threat. As you navigate the beautiful, complex journey of aging, your body asks for choices that honor its decades of service. Each of these 7 ingredients carries risks that science confirms and stories illustrate, from blood sugar spikes to organ strain. But the good news is you have the power to change that with small, mindful swaps. Imagine starting your day with a bowl of plain oats topped with fresh berries, a sprinkle of walnuts, and a dash of cinnamon. Simple, wholesome ingredients that fuel your energy, protect your heart, and ease your digestion. These choices aren't about deprivation. They're about abundance, giving your body the clarity and strength it deserves. Reflect on your routine. Which of these 7 are in your pantry, and which are you ready to let go? Share one thing you've learned today in the comments below, and tell us how you'll make your oatmeal a true ally. If this resonated with you, like, subscribe, and share to spread this message. Your mornings are a gift. Make them a celebration of the incredible life you're still living.